let's take a second and appreciate just how far this car has come from sitting in the woods for 35 years to being a constant reminder of things to do. Oh, hey, we're leaking brake fluid. I guess I should close the bleeders and try to get the same thing that happened in the rear. I just started it, and I was running like doo-doo and acting like it's not getting any fuel, so I pulled the fuel filter. Yeah, that's kind of gross. I utilized the Volkswagen oil pan as a drain pan and emptied out the tank, and well, what's that, quarter gallon, maybe a half gallon of fuel. So maybe it just needs gas. Started it and it ran like butthole. Can't get fuel through the carb, and I'm not sure if that's water or fuel or mud, but it's in there, and car doesn't run. So yeah, chunks of crap in there. Tore the carb apart, went through it. It was dirty. Go figure. I mean, it's 11 o'clock at night. I don't have any carb cleaner, if you can believe it. So yeah, we put fuel in the car. It's getting good clean fuel through the filter. The filter is not clogged. I think it's time I call it a night. I don't know what the hell that is. Mothra! Wow. I'm just kidding. It wants to run fine now. Hey there, welcome back to the shop. Today we're going right into it. We've got limited time. I have about an hour to get this car on the ground, out of the garage, before we leave for some other stuff and whatnot. But tomorrow we have caffeine and octane, and I would really like it if that car made it. As you know, in about 10 days we're driving this car on a 3-hour road trip. It hasn't driven much more than a mile or two since I've owned it. As you know, this is our 1967 Volvo 122S, and it sat in the woods for about 35 years before we dragged it home about a year and a half ago.
How do you feel right now?
Mixed feelings.
Yeah.
It's a big project. We've gone through the car. Did a little bit of work here and there. Put a new radiator in it because of overheating. Did the water pump, head gasket, all the things because it was dumping oil out of the head gasket. Last time you saw this car, it was having some running issues. We managed to run the tank empty, which took all the crap off the bottom of the tank and ran it into the carburetor, even though we've got a trusty fuel filter. So this is what the stuff that came out of the fuel filter looked like. So, you know, the typical mud, wasps, what have you. Now we've been through this car. We had issues with the transmission. We've redone the front end. Put new brakes on the car, front and rear. It's got a new drive shaft in it, fully rebuilt. No longer has the overdrive transmission, but it just has the M40 transmission because our backup overdrive transmission ended up coming apart when I was trying to fix some gaskets in it. We put drop springs in it. And I had to shorten the limiting strap, but I have yet to see what this car looks like on the ground, and hopefully in the next, well, for you it'd be a few minutes, but for me in the next hour I need to get this car put together and drivable. So let's get into it. Huge shout out to Eli Smith. When I was pulling my brake drums off, I ended up warping the drum, like pulling the face kind of funny. And I tried to put it on and it was all wobbly. So I put a call out, and Eli Smith of No Speed Shop. He reached out to me and said, I can be your hero, baby. So check him out, nospeedshop.com. Go buy some stickers. He's got a bunch of Amazon stickers. He's got a really cool new P1800 Pegasus mug. That's what I'm going to call it. May not be the right thing. But hey, please go show him some love for hooking a brother up with some used brake drums that otherwise I would not be doing this today. So thank you. There we go. Not too shabby. Comment down below if you'd like a Dino Machine sticker. I don't know what a reasonable price is for these. They're a little bit expensive, but if you want one, comment down below. Helps to fund this mess, as you know. Needs to get my extremely useful Volkswagen oil pan. I don't know where my drain pan ran off to, but it's definitely not here anymore. We're going to be up under here. Then we're going to pop our drain out and then drain it into our Volkswagen pan. It may not hold oil in your Volkswagen, but it's great for around the shop to hold all your crusty old Volvo oils. Yeah, that stuff doesn't look too bad, to be honest. I might have been able to run that, but I don't know what's in it. So we'll just, you know, do the smart thing. Also, a lot of stuff on that, so go figure. This might need a transmission too. So I was sticking my finger here in there and I felt something kind of hard. Oh, okay. That's probably not important, right? Well, I'm pretty sure I put all three on the transmission top hat. I don't know that it was me that dropped that in there. Also, it's worth doing a little investigative poking around. And nothing. All right, well, I mean, an entire spring is what we found. That's probably fine. This is the stuff we're going to be using today. It says it's safe for brass synchros, soft yellow metals. I don't know. I can't get GL4 rated fluid right now. So that's what we got. We are going in right through the top of the transmission. Can almost get it through the hole in the floor, but we're not worried about that right now. Let's get in the transmission. Unscrew the retaining nut. Out comes the hat. You can dump it right in. You can open the overfill hole on the side of the transmission, but mine's stuck. Go figure. So, you know, at this point, we're gonna wing it. I'm measuring with my eyes. It's getting 0.8. Okay. Let's do this. Oop. There's our 0.2. Okay, there's just a little splash left in the bottom. I think that's 0.8, right? So that's all back together. I need to put cotter pins in the rear axle nuts. Of course, this is what I'm talking about right here. Rear axle nuts, cotter pins are on there, or there are no cotter pins on there, excuse me. Let's not get that confused. I'm gonna lock the e-brake, make sure the e-brake can hold it, and I'm gonna put a wrench on that and tighten her down. Luxury items. Okay, we'll see if that can even hold that on there. Oh yeah. Cotter pins in place on this side. We'll just give that a snip. Good to go. And I guess we can make that 2 cotter pins in place. Let's get some wheels on it. That wheel's on. That wheel is on. This wheel's on. All the way. And this wheel's on. I am officially ready to put this car on the ground for the first time in 3 months. I have not yet seen what it looks like on the lowering springs, so join me. Of course, I had to stop the time lapse for this because it's looking like it's gonna be pretty cool. That's all I gotta say. Here we go. Man, that's low. Let me get it outside. I don't know if it looks much lower, but it definitely is lower. And that's as far as we made it. It is now stuck in gear. I cannot get it to disengage, and it's at the bottom of my neighbor's driveway. Okay, first drive, not so good. I have to pull the transmission out, and I have to figure out where that spring went. I think I know where it went, but it means the transmission has to come out. We're back home, and I have some concerns about this transmission, and I have concerns about the spring we found when we were doing the fluid in it. It's acting like the transmission is getting stuck between gears and then locks up and you can't roll the car any direction. One idea I have is to cut the transmission tunnel out of this car and see if I can't use the P1800 transmission top that I have. That should bring the shifter back to about here-ish. I don't know. Is that what we want to do? Not really. I don't really want to cut this trans tunnel up because that's like the only good metal on the floor of this car. But, hey, my vice grips. Yeah, it's fine. Dug through the parts car a little bit. That thing's just about to the end of its life. What should we do with it? Should we cut the side off of it and make it into a wall thing? Should we turn it into a fish tank? Maybe? I don't know. Comment down below. Anyway, we dug through it. We found our P1800 transmission top hat witchamajigger, and it's functional. It works. And it's actually a lot longer than I remembered, so it would put the shifter almost between the seats. It means we have to cut out a lot of the transmission tunnel. A rough idea of where that's gonna sit. That'll sit between the seats, which means we gotta cut out a lot, and it's not the kind of scenario I was thinking would be doable right now. I'm very curious to know if that would help with the shifting issue. It's almost like the shifter that's in the car now has too much side-to-side throw, so that's weird. So I don't know what to do. Took the old girl out for a quick Publix run, and we made it.
We did.
What do you think?
It is very... it's comfortable, but it's also very concerning to be a passenger in because
Why?
there's no seat belts. There's
seat belts.
Hardly any floors.
What's wrong with the floors?
You can't see through the windshield.
Well, I mean, it needs to be cleaned still, you know? I think she loves it, guys. I think we're good. Okay, so now we're stuck in reverse at the bottom of the driveway. can't get the transmission to unload and get it to come out of reverse. So I don't know what to do. Great news, everybody. I wang jangled it a little bit, and it's now no longer stuck in reverse. What's funny is, the rest of the day after getting it unstuck again, the car kept having a weird like breakup issue. The car may or may not need ignition stuff, so it is what it is. Tore the points out, cleaned up the points, put them back in, not much changed. Tore all the plugs out, put some plugs that I had into it. It kind of helped. Sorta. It's running better, it's not running great. I ordered a Pertronics coil and a Pertronics igniter. We gotta wait for that to come in. The car runs okay now. I got it out, drove it around a little bit, got some beauty shots of it. I spent most of the day going through the carburetor. I tore it completely down again, soaked everything, and then blew it all the passages, all the orifices out with compressed air, and now it runs okay-ish again. So, I don't know. But this is what we got. As of my editing right now, the car is currently on the ground, somewhat drivable. Doesn't have brake lights for whatever reason. We used to, but now we don't. So, found that out tonight. We'll have to order one of those and get that in. Oh. Turns out we need to do rear main seal. So, sorry if this episode was kind of all over the place. Didn't make a whole lot of sense. But here we are. Car's on the ground. Drives a little bit. And we are exactly 1 week, 7 days from leaving for this trip. So, seems like it's going to be a busy weekend for me. Got a couple ideas to try. Try to get this transmission sorted out. Let me explain that a little bit. Everything inside spins around, right? You have the push rods here that are all connected to your shift forks. What I think is happening is my shifter, which rides in here, and when it pivots, it swings between these. I think what's happening is it'll actuate and put it into a gear, and then it'll swing too far out, and then you can't get it to go back. For whatever reason, it's just not sitting within that slot there. So I'm not quite sure. So what I'll do is I'll pull the transmission out again. I don't want to, but that's what we should do. Verify that everything is functional with the shifter hat, and lo and behold, the blue wagon that we just got has the same transmission, and the shifter and everything feels really tight in it. So I might be pulling that transmission out of that car, which, you know, is what it is. But we'll see. Otherwise, we'll just drive it as is and hope for the best. Thanks for stopping by the channel. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for leaving a comment. You know, I appreciate everybody swinging by, especially Eli Smith. No speed shop. Goodbye sticker. How about you get in your garage and fix something, huh? Have a good night.